Colin, how much of this offense do you think you can implement during the spring, and how difficult is it to implement an offense, period, with a new group of players?
Yes to all the above. I think coming in here this spring, we've been very aggressive. We've tried to push the envelope as far as the pace of what we're trying to do and just dive in and get after it. Been really proud of the guys of how they've embraced that mentality. We're trying to build the foundation for the entire offense, expose them to as many things as we can, while being focused on the fundamental details and the skills needed to then make those X's and O's go, because that's truly the most important part. It is a balance. Being in now going into the second full week here, through a lot of the big install chunks. So I think we're going to really cover some ground this week and have that familiarity level across the board. Already felt it a little bit yesterday with that, and so yes, it's a lot. We're being aggressive with it right from the jump, but making sure we don't push too hard, too fast, and make sure we're doing it fundamentally sound.
We'll go second row on the left side to Sam and then Travis.
Colin, when you touch on that, are you kind of talking about kind of different ways you get to different concepts, like the motions and the shifts and the ways you guys block in the run game, things like that? Is that kind of what you guys are really sinking into right now?
Yes, I mean it's definitely a conceptually based system to be able to do a lot of the same things out of a lot of different presentations, but even though it's the same, because you're in different formations or because there's nuances and things that are changing the pictures for the defense, that's also changing it for us and our guys as well. So just trying to, again, get that familiarity with those concepts and with those pictures. And guys have been doing a great job, and having fun with it. And we have a lot of fun at practice.
Yeah. And I know obviously you have a extensive history, successful history as a player, but I'm curious who have been the biggest influences on you in coaching and your developing your offensive philosophy and your belief system? Who have those influences been on you?
Yeah, no, been very fortunate to be around some really, really good ones, during my career now as a coach, but then even as a player. I think, Coach Snyder, when I played, his influence and him being an offensive-minded coach, with the two coordinators, Dana Dimmel and Del Miller, at that point in time, really laid a good foundation. And then even going with Coach Kleiman a little bit, really grateful to him. He turned the game upside down for me, being a defensive guy and then being able to learn and see the game from the other side of the ball, and then how that fits and how we build and how we do things on offense. And Coach Elko being that same way, already working with him has been really good, and truly understanding the game holistically, I think, too, more than just this play, that play, whatever, this style, this offense. It's like, no, this is football, this is angles, this is leverage, this is numbers, these are fundamentals, and this is how we're going to package it for our guys to give them a chance to be successful.
We'll go front row on the right side to Travis and then Brent.
Hi. What has been the pros and cons so far of the helmet communicators with the quarterbacks and getting some reps with that in the spring?
It's been good. I think we're still working through the full functionality of being able to use it and how we want to package that. It's good practice, and it's really good for me and the quarterback. To help get on the same page, especially in the learning phases of some of the things that we're trying to do. I think it'll speed up our operation time as we go and we get more comfortable, as a unit and all together there. I think a con sometimes is, for myself, even just in practice, is you kind of switch from, okay, you're calling a game mode to coach mode, and sometimes switching in and out of that in between a play has been different, but I think it's being able to use technology like that is a huge plus.
We'll stay on that front row to Brent.
Brent Zorneman, Houston Chronicle. What have been your early impressions of Conor Wegman?
Been really impressed with his grit. I mean, you know, coming off an injury like he has and pushing through it and pushing himself through the recovery. He's a very instinctual football player. And so he's got a great feel for space, has a great feel for the pass game concepts and what we're trying to do and who are the key defenders, and does a nice job buying time in the pocket and still being able to deliver the ball under duress when things aren't perfect around him. You know, and he's naturally accurate. So really, it's been fun getting to know him and getting to know each other through this process.
So I was going to ask you, how do you handle that when you have to be somewhat ginger, I would take it, with the foot, but yet still get work done, you know, toward the season as well?
Yeah, no, it's, you know, and again, that's mostly in our training staff's hands to try to manage that and help find that right line. And he's trying to do as much as possible. We're all trying to do as much as possible to accelerate that growth curve, and every rep matters, every day matters, and so trying to maximize every one that we get.
We'll go second row on the right side, start with Olin and move our way across.
Yeah, Coach, know it's early and everything, but I wonder, have you gotten enough time to get a feel for just the kind of guys you have, kind of material you have to work with?
You know, I think it's getting better. You know, I mean, through 6 practices now is still not a huge sample size, you know, and it's because we're starting from scratch, you know, from the ground level. There's it doesn't matter what physical abilities you have or don't have. If your mind is, if you're still feeling out what's going on around you schematically, it's hard to play fast. And so I think getting a better feel, getting to know a little better of how the guys tick and how they learn, probably more so in my room just because I'm with them a little bit more of what type of learners and how to teach them and help them develop the best. But it's still in process for sure.
And do you get the sense that what you're asking these guys to do, that it's maybe they're finding out for the first time it's something dramatically different?
You know, I don't know. I think sometimes, again, good football is good football. I mean, I don't know. There's different ways to package it. There's a lot of different application, teaching progressions, and how we teach and ultimately are able to hold and build the foundation for them to execute those plays. But, I mean, everybody runs inside zone, and everybody's going to run so it's some of it will be new and completely different for them. Some of it is things that they've been exposed to. But it's okay, how are we going to do it? You know, and I think it is fun when that light bulb comes on for them, when that clicks of, hey, this is what we're trying to accomplish. This is how we're going to do it. Okay, it works. They see it, they understand it, and then creates that level of excitement and satisfaction of doing things the right way, and then building off that to something else and building something else off of that. And definitely felt that excitement build for all of us as we're getting to know each other and put this thing together.
We'll stay on that second row to David and then Carter.
Colin, what's your mindset when it comes to the backfield? Do you like having a lead guy, or when you have multiple guys that can do it, do you like to rotate? What's your philosophy there?
Yeah, no, I think anymore in football period, but college football and especially high level in this league, it's going to take a stable. I mean, it's not the days of just one true, you know, back are probably not there anymore. You know, it's going to have to be a shared load that you know 2 or 3 guys are going to have to carry, and then us being smart to use and find the unique things and the strengths of each one of them to use them. You know, I think all 3 guys have done a really, really good job this spring and shown flashes of really good things. I mean, Ruben Owens, his ball skills are outstanding. Some of the plays he's been able to make in the passing game are really good. I think, you know, you look at Le'Veon and his contact balance, you know, and his ability to stay on his feet, and then Amari, you know, I mean, his ability to get yards after contact, get north and south, and have that burst to hit that hole at the right time. I mean, all 3 of those guys have shown really good things, and excited about all 3 of them.
We'll go one more on the second row to Carter and then back behind the lights.
Hey, Colin, how do you balance, I guess, with Bryce Foster being with the track team this spring, just kind of evaluating what he's done already, thinking about what he could be this coming season, and then what have you seen from the other guys that have worked at center, guys like Mark Naboo, Dorian Hinton, and TJ Shanahan?
Yeah, no doubt. I think it's really good that we have some competition there. I think it's good that we're developing depth. Been able to meet with Bryce a couple times and obviously understand his situation. But I think all three have done some really, really good things at times. And it's with what we want to do in the run game and what we're able to do from a cadence and tempo perspective. There's a lot on those guys, and they've done a really, really good job getting up to speed pretty quickly early in spring ball.
And going back to Connor, I know Mike Elko mentioned, I think a couple weeks ago, that he might not be running around as much, but beyond that, I mean, are you guys able to basically do as much as you could with him? And I don't know if there's like a percentage you can put on it, but
Yeah.
Are there really that many restrictions?
Yeah, no, I mean, I think it's definitely being actively managed, but at the same time, like you said, we're trying to just get as much as we possibly can done. I think I've been able to definitely tell as we've even gotten to like the 4, 5, 6 turn from just even getting back into shape throwing the football collectively as a group and getting that rep count up and getting those reps throwing the football. Kind of seen all of my guys, Connor included, find a little bit more of a rhythm and a groove spinning it as well. So I think it's, these next couple weeks are going to be really big for us. We've covered a lot of ground here in this first 6, but really grinding through this middle section and building off what we've done. And I think that's going to be really important at the quarterback position for all of them.
We'll go back behind the lights on the left side to Nicole and then Ben.
Hey, Coach, just another follow-up on Connor. Have you noticed any kind of like urgency or excitement for, I know it's only been 6 practices, but him being able to get out on the field?
I think you could definitely see, all my guys, but I mean, Connor loves to compete. He loves to compete, and I think even as we get into more situational football, even over the last 2 days, and those situations become more competitive, you can kind of see his excitement, a smile, and being able to kind of cut it loose and have some fun out there has been really good to see.
We'll go to the right side to Ben.
Hey, Coach. Ben Peck, NBC here in College Station. How helpful is it to have a lot of, relative to coaching changes? It seems like y'all have a lot of the key pieces, that were in place from last year. Connor, the running backs, a couple receivers. How much does that help? Teaching a new system to guys who have at least played together. Maybe they can tell you some things that worked well, but they did play together.
Yeah, no, I mean, you can definitely tell. There's continuity and guys like being around each other. I think there's some reference that they can be like, hey, this is like this from when we've done it before. But, I think it's been a more of a process of all of us starting from scratch, and I think them working through that has been good. And I think it's helped build relationships between them as well.
And then how do you, especially as a play caller, kind of find the balance between calling plays that are there, so to speak, and maybe, just the execution's a little bit off? I guess to use a basketball analogy, eventually a three-point shooter can make a three-point shot if he's open all the time. How do you balance that with, I guess getting a feel for the capabilities of guys and what they can and can't execute?
That's the art of it. Right there. I mean, truly. And it's, because I tell our guys all the time, I said, how we play and how we do things is so much more important than what we're doing, and because there's times that there's going to be a bad play call, like you said, that all of a sudden, bang, someone makes a play, breaks a tackle, and bang, it's a huge explosive play. And then there's times where schematically you may have them dialed and there's a break in the chain somewhere that causes it not to work out. And either way, none of us can get discouraged. You can't get down. You can't get frustrated from any direction or any party involved. And it's like, hey, we're all in this together, and we just got to keep pounding away. And whoever didn't make the previous one is going to make the next one. Maybe I made a bad call. Well, hey, I'm going to make the right one the next time, and they're going to make the right play the next time whenever that person or that link in that chain has to, is called on. And that's the art of coaching. It's the art of play calling. It's the art of football is getting everybody, again, on the same page and in sync to execute and find a way.
We'll go second row on the left side to Sam and then the battalion.
Colin, at K-State, it seemed like the last couple of years there was lots of times where multiple quarterbacks were used. I don't know, obviously, all the details with that, but I'm curious how much of that was situation and personnel dictated that, and how much of that is part of your philosophy of maybe using multiple quarterbacks?
Yeah, no, most of it was definitely injury and just circumstantial, of doing what we had to do. There's times, obviously, always want to have great competition and understanding that as a leader, as the quarterback of the offense, if you're struggling, that's a lot of that ownership goes on you, and making sure that all of us and that person is striving to get better and improve and do whatever it takes for that unit to be successful. And when that isn't happening, there's going to be natural competition there, and that's just the way it is, and that's at any place, any level of football. So, but for the most part, it's from my standpoint as a play caller and as their coach, it's sometimes that stuff can happen in a blink, and being able to adjust and be flexible in the moment on the fly. I mean, 2 years ago we had a prolific dual threat kid that got hurt in the first quarter, and all of a sudden then you got a pro style kid come in, and hey, guess what? We're going to find a way, and the game plan just changed in a play. And okay, superimpose myself as them, and now I'm quarterback X, and this is what I know he likes and he does best in the framework of what we're trying to do to attack them, and let's freaking go, and that's my mindset for them, and believe in every one of those guys in my room, and there's a way that we can tailor things around each one of them to be successful if they've done the work and positioned themselves like they need to, and we'll make it go.
How much quarterback run game do you want to be a part of this?
Well, I mean, I think, again, that is very, very dictated on our personnel, solely. I think, and using that young man's strengths to the best of his ability, and then getting our team what our team needs to be successful, if that makes sense.
We'll go third row on the left side to the battalion.
Coach, Connor spoke about his excitement with the playmakers and the wide receiver and the tight ends room, and I know it's a small sample size, like you said, but what have you seen out of those groups, especially with the transfers?
I think I've seen even in 6 practices, I think there's a level of trust building between the two rooms. I think fundamentally in both rooms we're getting better, which is helping that execution look crisper with timing and things. I think Coach Wiggins is doing an unbelievable job, and seeing how those guys are doing the fundamental things well to help create space and get open, and how that builds into the quarterback's ability to be confident and anticipate, I think has been really fun to see, even in a very, very short window. And all of us got to keep it up, because there's a lot more room out there, and for all of us, to make improvement here these next 9 practices or whatever we have.
We'll go front row on the right side to Travis and then wrap things up with Brent.
Yeah, Travis Brown from the Eagle here in town. It's pretty rare to have the amount of guys that you have in the quarterback room with the experience they have. What has been your take on the experience those guys have had, and what that brings to the group as a unit?
Yeah, no, I mean, there's, it's like you said, even in the age differences that are in the room, being able to have some of that real life playing time, having felt those live bullets before, I think as a quarterback, that the live bullets are just different. It's just different, and we get pretty dang close with the intensity of practice on purpose, and creating that competitive environment in practice, but them having experienced those live bullets before, I think definitely help their context of how they're able to prepare how they're able to process things in that practice implementation to be able to visualize how that's going to actually feel, in real time. So I think it's been a good thing, but just like anything though, you take a couple months off and all of a sudden, hey, we got to get back in the swing of things too and continue to play faster mentally, physically, and play the game at the speed that it happens at.
Stay on the front row to Brent to close things out.
So there's an old iconic Aggie quarterback who said some nice things about you about a decade ago. So I was going to ask you what you took from your short time with Gary Kubiak.
Oh man. Well, I kind of knew, but then you said it. Well, I'll tell you what, Coach Kubiak. I was only there a very, very brief minute down there, but just an unbelievable person. I mean, you could tell even just in the couple days of the depth and the wisdom and perspective and the things that he's seen and done and people he'd been around and impacted me in 3 days. I think still remember a couple coaching points of a midline glance on a 3 quick. I almost threw a pick to a corner, and he's like, you can't do that in this league. so we got to get that fixed. So, but was so kind to me and stayed in touch even with a text message and a voice message since then. And so, hoping I get a chance to run into him down here and spend some time with him.
I know it's a very short time, but do you have kind of a favorite memory of that little time spent there in Houston at the camp?
Oh man.
Besides the one you just shared.
Yeah, that was maybe not a positive one. No, I think just again the experience and getting around him and truly the level of detail and I mean he'd stand there in the back and be able to coach us as the quarterbacks and just by pointing, you'd finish the rep and he'd point and I knew exactly what he meant or whether my eyes were in the wrong spot or I threw it to the wrong guy or protection adjustment. He was running the show from back there, and I remember that vividly. So,
All right, that's all we have. Thank you, Coach.
all right, thank you guys.